Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Teacher Mary Connects. Our teacher guest is someone that many of you, especially in the Native Camp Worldwide group, already know, maybe even have a stronger opinion about. He's the teacher who speaks up, the one who calls out rule violations, reminds everyone to use English only, and never seems to back down from a discussion. I'll be honest, before this interview, I'd scroll past his posts and sometimes think, oh, here he is again. But something made me curious. Who is this person? What's driving all of that? So I reached out to him, and tonight, Teacher Randall is here to let us see the man behind the posts and comments. Everyone, please welcome Teacher Randall. Right, hi Randall.
Hello po, Teacher Mary. And hi, everyone. Yeah, here at Native Camp.
Good evening. Thank you for gracing this interview. All
My
right.
pleasure.
So maybe let's start with, before we go into deeper topics, let's start with a simple introduction first. Okay. So, how long have you been teaching in Native Camp, Teacher Randall?
Yeah. Technically, I've been teaching at Native Camp for more than a year, precisely 1 year and 6 months. I started November 2024. Yeah, so 1.5 years.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then are you working part time or full time?
Yeah, part time, I am a content writer alongside and a music teacher as well as a music performer outside Native Camp.
Mm. Or later I'll ask for a sample. Okay. So can you tell us a little about yourself and your family background?
Okay, well, I am the eldest of three male siblings, so we are all boys. Yeah, I am currently the second provider for my family after my dad's passing last 2021. So I'm helping my mother or my mom. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I am a musician. Actually, that is my main passion. English teaching is just like my second interest. So yeah, musician and an English teacher alongside.
Mhm. Thank you. All right. So a lot of people know your online personality, right? So strong, direct, right? But I'm curious, who are you outside Native Camp?
Yeah, I would say how I deal with my friends, with my family is much like the same as how I deal or how I post or comment or reply to whatever we post at the Native Camp Worldwide group. But maybe I think that's because of my musical influence as well as content writing in terms of like how exacting, how particular the discipline of music learning is, how direct or how concise content writing can be in terms of the use of words, just going straight into the point most of the time. Before working, when I was still a student, let's say I was still in high school, I used to post very long posts, even mentioning details that don't need to be mentioned, just posting however or how long I wanted. I liked essay writing that much, but as I matured, as I ventured into content writing, I learned that sometimes we can say things as concise or as brief as possible without missing important details. So maybe that influenced how I interact with the group that we have with Native Camp.
Mm-hmm.
And often I get mistaken or misinterpreted as someone maybe bossy or domineering or like feeling admin. But I accept that feedback. I'm still on my way to improving myself. I'm aware that sometimes I have that tendency. So yeah, even though I advocate um, communicating briefly and concisely, I'm in the process of improving myself. so as to still maintain respect and be careful with my words, so as not to offend other people. Yeah, I'm in the process of that.
Of
Yeah.
course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But you mentioned content creation, right? Content writing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where do you
Yes.
post that?
Yeah, well, I'm with Upwork. I've been working as a content writer for Upwork since 20, yeah, after pandemic. 2019 or 20, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
2019. Yeah, that's when pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've ventured into that. It's not an it was not my intention. I think it was God's plan for me to venture into that kind of work. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've had many clients already with Upwork. One of those clients has been my denomination or my church's online or digital ministry, which we call Digital Evangelism Initiative. So yeah, we mainly post biblical content, articles, blogs, and many others. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm with Upwork.
Related to faith. Is that it?
Yes,
Spiritual writing.
yes,
I see.
yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Okay. All right. So for my first question, you mentioned even before you post, long post and before you were also a little careless, maybe because of the
yes,
age too, right? When we are
yeah,
young, we are more aggressive, right?
yes, true.
But what do people usually misunderstand about you? Not only in native camp, but generally.
Maybe what they misunderstand about me is that I'm strict for no reason. I'm unreasonably strict. Well, I admit that I may look like a strict person based on my posts, but I always find a reason to be such. I, for instance, would just like to promote following the rules, maintaining peace and order in a group.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what I think they often misunderstand about me, that I am unreasonably strict, maybe because of
Mm-hmm.
my tone. So, going back to my point earlier, that's what
Mm-hmm.
I am constantly improving until
Right.
now. But I know that my intentions are always pure.
Right. So, but
Hmm.
what shaped your personality the most? Why are you like that? Why do you
Yeah.
need to correct them, or why is it important for you? That.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I think that has something to do with how my mom or my family in general raised me. Uh, I'm not like typical children who would play outside, playing in the rain. Normally, or I oftentimes stayed at home studying, practicing my music, my instruments. But of course, like any kid, I still have social life. Yeah, I mostly socialize with my cousins, with my family's members and relatives, but not so much with friends, maybe, unless they're my classmates, they're
Mhm,
my church mates, or
mhm,
any other non-family, uh, I mean, not non-family members who belong to a community I am
mhm,
in. But neighbors, I don't usually, normally wouldn't engage with them
mhm.
often. Yeah, so
All
maybe I
right.
think that's one. I grew up domesticated, or like very introvert, I would say.
Mhm,
And second, maybe the influence of music, because music, if you really study it seriously, it's very exacting, it's very particular, it's very technical. Of course, it's expressive. You enjoy playing music, but behind the scenes, you really find discipline in placing on hitting the right notes, or executing the techniques precisely, things like that. And also content writing, as I mentioned earlier, it's very straight to the point. It goes straight to the point without
mhm,
wasting words. So maybe those are the influences why I'm like this.
mhm.
My
Mhm.
next question, Randall, this is maybe you were not expecting this, but because you mentioned about your dad's passing, do
Mhm.
you think it has something to do with that too? Because you mentioned you are three siblings, right? Like
Mhm.
you are three boys.
Mhm.
And when my dad passed away when I was 10 years old, before he passed, I am very comfortable. Like because I'm an only child.
Mhm.
So I'm not spoiled, but I was very comfortable. But when he passed away, that changed me a lot. Like I was so protective of my mom. I was
Mhm.
I was so scared. But in your case, because you are the eldest, right?
Mhm.
Of the three boys, do you think
Mhm.
that it has something to do with that? Because maybe you are also like a father figure
Mhm.
when it comes to your family.
Yeah, that's a good question actually. I haven't been like pondering upon that. I haven't realized that could be a factor, but though I'm not yet aware as of now, I think with you mentioning that, Teacher Mary, I believe that it has a factor in how I deal with people or with things generally in this stage of my life. And aside from that, aside from assuming or like wanting to step up for the family
Mm.
after my dad's passing, I think also the adulting, the aging has something to do with it because I'm now approaching my 30s. And we have this like joke in the Philippines, that trentahin. Okay, for those of us here who are non-Filipinos, we mean yeah, approaching. I mean people who are in the 30s. It's like
Mhm.
not a curse, but it somehow gives us pressure, uh wanting, I mean, how our life would turn out at this stage. It's like, what do we want to be? Are we at a stage in life that this age expects us to be, something like that? So yeah, maybe the pressure is also one of the things that shaped me into this kind of person right now.
Right, right. I think
Mm.
so. Right. So, okay. Now you are known for speaking up in teachers group, right? You mentioned that
Mm-hmm.
several times, especially when issues or misunderstandings happen. So, why do you speak up instead of staying silent? Because you can ignore, right? But
Mm-hmm.
why?
Yeah. Well, if no one would speak, who would? Yeah, that has
Mm,
always been my mantra. I've not been like that when I was younger, but maybe because of the work, the jobs that I the engagements that I had previously professionally, maybe with the influence of my team leaders, they inspired me to speak up when things go wrong, when no one would dare stand for the right, something like that.
mm,
Yeah, I think that inspired me. And of course, whenever I'm in a group or everywhere I am in, I always have that, do we call that passion or like desire to promote peace and order, professionalism, etiquette,
mm,
ethics, and wherever I go. So, yeah, I think that's what inspires me to voice out, to stand up for what I think is right.
mm.
Yeah.
Do you love being a Filipino, Randall? Is
Yes,
it
for
important
sure.
for you? Right.
Yes.
Mm. Because I did not intentionally observe you, but
Mm,
of course I can see you in the group, right?
mm,
To be honest, there were times when I would also have that after like, oh, here he is again, like he's commenting this again. But I stop and ask myself, you're right in
mm-hmm,
other aspects, okay, but maybe
mm-hmm,
it's the tone
mm-hmm,
because it's you usually type, right?
mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
remember, the tone is a big factor, right?
Yes.
Especially, okay, what can you say about especially those teachers? we are in Native Camp Worldwide group,
Mhm.
and then they speak in Tagalog, right?
Uh-huh.
So that is one thing that you do not like, right?
Yes.
So in our small group, as I mentioned with you, I have a little group that we
Mhm.
share, and in our small group, whenever someone will speak in Tagalog in
Mhm.
Native Camp, they will post. Oh, someone will say, "Oh, you know, um, we already know that you will marshal
Uh-huh.
that person, But how do you feel? But also because the reason why I've asked if you how important it is for you to be Filipino, because I
Mhm.
think this goes beyond the group rules.
Yes. Uh, well, I would answer that question yes and no. When you first asked that, I was thinking, yes, of course, I love being Filipino, the culture,
Mm,
but of course, all of us, or maybe most of us, have certain things we hate about the Filipino culture. I think that
mm-hmm,
goes the same with all our other nationalities. But yeah, going back to the point, um, I I love being a Filipino in terms of the arts, the culture, the hospitality, the culture of hospitality we have with foreign people. But in terms of like being, sorry for the word, but I think we admit as Filipinos that sometimes we are complacent. We are not that faithful in following rules.
mm,
A lot of us, I really wonder why a lot of Filipinos, or maybe let's just have it particular with the native camp worldwide teachers, the Filipino ones.
mm,
But before I say anything, I would ask for your pardon for those of yeah. But
mm,
yeah, I wonder why we are, for the lack of word, why we are this stubborn to ignore the English only rule. I would understand if there's a new member who is not yet aware with the group rules, but that's the point. When you are new in a group, you still have to observe. You have to know the rules. You will not join a group without studying the rules first. So I can't understand why there are teachers who simply, I don't know if they are intentionally doing it or they're not just aware of the English only rule. But of course, that's not the only rule we have. We
mm,
have rules that prohibit or that wants us to avoid promoting
mm.
any content or any posts that don't relate with ESL or with native camp
Exactly.
with English. Yeah,
Mm,
that's also one thing. Also, maintaining peace, dealing with everyone, avoiding bullying as much as possible. And what's the other rule that we have? Yeah, but in general, all of those rules. Yeah,
mm,
because as a person, whenever I'm new in a group, I would observe first. I would not post anything that I'm not sure it would be accepted or be acceptable, regardless if there's an admin or not, if they're active or not. I don't know. I'm not feeling self-righteous, but as a person, I really observe and then study the rules first, make sure that I keep them in mind whenever I post
mm,
something. So whenever I see a teacher carelessly, I don't know, intentionally or
mm,
unknowingly violating these rules, I wonder how how they became teachers at native camp, because I expect that as teachers we are professional enough and aware of things. So yeah, sorry if
No,
that answer
no, no,
is
no.
kind of quite long, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
one of the things I really hate.
yeah. I observe
Yeah.
that. You do, but
Yes.
like you,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I ignore, or most of the
Mm-hmm.
time I ignore those things because for me, mm, this is I do not know if it's wrong or if it's
Mm-hmm.
okay, but many of us ignores, right? We ignore
Mm-hmm.
that. But that's the reason I'm here. And that's the reason I invited you here. Because I think, like in our country now, right? We are politically divided.
Yeah.
and we have a lot of we have different political opinions, but honestly,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes being quiet is really not the answer. We have to be
Mm-hmm.
involved, we have to say if it's
Mm-hmm.
wrong, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and maybe just the tone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the tone, but the problem
Yeah.
is it's you are typing words, so the tone will depend on who is reading it,
Yes, that's also true.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
but I want to know, have you ever regretted something you posted? Have you ever
Yeah.
deleted something, posted something like that?
I think more than one. I've deleted a couple of posts already.
Mm,
Yeah, because that's my way of like evaluating myself as well. Most teachers at Native Camp Worldwide Group may see me as very domineering, but of course, there are times I evaluate myself. I put my shoes into to the reader's perspective.
mm,
What would I think reading this post by Teacher Randell? Who is this
mm,
Randell? Assuming that I don't know him as a teacher or as a as a person, so I would read my own post, and if I think that it's too much, I mean it goes overboard, I delete it, and sometimes I just revise or rephrase,
mhm,
improve the tone.
mhm,
hmm Yeah, without necessarily changing the message or the content. So, yeah, to answer the question, I've deleted or revised a couple of posts already.
mhm. Right, right. Okay, so maybe you are strong, as you
hmm
said, okay, but you know that there are consequences whenever some
Yeah.
we choose to be strong, right?
hmm
So how do you feel when people bash or misunderstand you? There are some teachers who made, a fan account, but
yes.
in a sarcastic way, right? So
Yes.
how do you feel about that?
Well, in general, I don't really find myself bothered that much. I may be replying to them over and over, but only at a certain or only until a certain point that
Mm,
I can tolerate. I'm not. I may look like a person who reacts, who always reacts.
mm,
I mean, who would try to please everybody, but no. Until a certain point, only I do that. But when, for example, that bully would still I mean if I sense that he or she is just making fun of me or mocking me, okay, in Tagalog bahala ka na. But yeah, but for those of us who are not Filipinos, yeah, you can go your way. I would ignore you. That's your life. I would go on with mine. So yeah, I just engage at a certain only at a certain point, but when it goes I mean, when it's too much, I just ignore them. Yeah. Anyway,
mhm.
I have more important things to do with my own life. So yeah, I just let
Right,
them be. hmm
right. Thank you. So now let's move on to something lighter.
hmm
Okay, because many people also know you as someone talented in singing. Okay, I watched your video on your profile. Before I
hmm
interviewed you, of course I want to, okay, I check first, will he accept my invitation? Or maybe, I'm not sure if you're a snob or you would accommodate me. But I want to know, when did you start singing?
okay. Singing, yeah, that was my first instrument. I started at as early as 3 or 4, but not yet exposed. According to my parents, at 3 or 4, I would just hum notes, and that's where they saw that I could sing in tune. I have the musical sensitivity, not boastingly saying, but the gift was
Mhm,
there, has been there as early as 3 or 4. Then they started exposing me in church at 6, and yeah, the rest is history. Now with well, your question was just with singing, but
mhm,
if I would add with piano and violin, I started learning the piano at the age of 7. Actually, it was not intentional. My mom would always tell me that how I started was like this. She has been a piano teacher. She is a music major. She would teach piano at home. During my childhood, I would see her um, visited by students for piano lessons. She didn't she didn't intend to teach me, but by observation, I gained an interest, and this is what she was amazed at me doing. Whenever they would end the lesson, I would uh, play in piano by ear, the same pieces they used to play without knowing how to read notes at that time. So when she realized that I had the gift, again, not boasting,
Mm-hmm.
she said, "Okay, maybe I need to teach you the music theory and everything." So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that is how I started learning the piano, and the rest is history. With violin, I would say violin is the only instrument among my three instruments that I intentionally or like desired to study. I mean, to learn on my own, at my own will. That was when I was 12. I got inspired by, of course, the sound that other violinists make, but precisely or more particularly the vibrato that we call, okay, I'm getting musically technical, but yeah, if I would share, yeah, how I got amazed by how this vibration thing
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is being
Okay.
done.
Maybe I can relate
Yeah.
a little. Okay.
That was my inspiration in learning the violin. So I asked my dad, because he was the one he was the one with me at the age of 12. I mean, in school, because
Yeah.
she also used to teach. By the way, he used to be a gospel minister, so he would pastor churches. But there were 4 years during my high school years that he decided to teach in school as well, to guide me, to be with me. So at the age of 12, approaching high school, he was the one I requested to have me enroll in a violin lesson. So yeah, that's the history of how I learned those three instruments at different stages in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So your family is really musically inclined, right? Your mom is a pianist, and then your dad. So, how about your brothers? Are they also into music?
Uh-huh. Well, my mom, I would say, yeah, she is a musician. She studied it. But my father, um, maybe just so. I mean, he admits that he may have the gift, but he just didn't had the opportunity to develop or to nurture it. But yeah, I think he had the gift, and I inherited that.
Mm-hmm.
My siblings, the second one is like following my footsteps, fortunately, without forcing him to do so. He's really passionate in music, like I am. The youngest one is, I think, his interest is on other things. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with computer, but yeah, he could sing in tune. I also taught him the basics of piano. He is also interested in playing guitar while I don't. So I think he also has that interest in music, but not as much as mine and my
Mm-hmm.
second brother's passion
Mm-hmm.
or interest. Yeah.
Thank you, Randall. Your father, you mentioned, am I right? He
Hmm.
is a gospel evangelist. Is that correct?
Yes, our
So,
gospel minister or pastor. Hmm.
so I think that's
Yes.
also the reason why you stick with what's right. You couldn't
Maybe.
ignore it, right?
Yeah.
Because I think
Yes.
for people who are gospel and pastor, they are our guide, right? They are our
Hmm.
guides to what is right in life, right?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but of
Okay.
course, we are not perfect. We
Mm,
are just like anybody else. But yeah, you're right. That may be one of the things that shaped me into being like
Yeah.
this.
Because I
Yeah.
think, when you are like your father, he's a pastor, there's pressure for your family, I think,
Yes.
because people are looking at you, people are looking up to your father, and definitely because he's teaching the gospel, and,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm not sure, but it's like a spoken rule that
Yeah.
how can you preach the word of God if you live an stray life, right? So
Exactly.
I think, so yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So, but I am, uh, while listening to you, you became, uh, inclined to music because of your parents, right? I think our parents are the driving force of who we are now, in my
Yes.
opinion.
True.
Um, my mother used to be a teacher when she was alive. So
Mm-hmm.
she was a public school elementary teacher. And
Mm-hmm.
she never wanted me to be a teacher. She always told me, I think I've said this with teacher Natasha before, that um she told me that I can be whoever I want to be, but not
Mm-hmm. But
teacher,
not the
because
teacher.
right, 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 because I will be heartbroken. But I
Oh.
always go with I used to go with her, and I also observe her how she loves
Mm-hmm.
her students. At 5 in the morning she would prepare sandwiches, because in the Philippines public school sometimes are in the slums, in the
Yes. Yeah.
middle of the slums. And my dad used to tell her, transfer, go to the private school, because she
Mm-hmm.
she got offers. But my mom said, no, this is where I'm needed. And then 5 a.m. she will make a lot of sandwiches, and then my dad would ask, oh, what is that for? But my dad would support, but we are just very surprised with her actions. And she would say, the students are hungry, and
Wow.
if they can, if this is their motivation to go to my class, it's okay, as long as I can
Mm.
teach them.
Wow.
So, and when my dad visited her in that place, my dad was so surprised, because people, you will walk, you will walk in the slums before you get to the school, and some are
Yeah.
drunk, some are, topless.
Yes.
But my dad was, oh my god, but when my mom and dad walked again, going out, my dad saw that people respects my mother in that
Mm.
place.
Mm-hmm.
Even the drunk people, they will put the shirt on.
Wow. Uh-huh.
So what I mean is that, um parents, I think, are our treasure. They
Yeah.
are our guide. That's how we live, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, mm, I think your dad would be proud of you, right?
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Parents really influence us significantly, greatly, because of course we've been with them since birth, since childhood, their formative years until we grow. So yeah, we are greatly influenced by what they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
Okay. So let's talk about native camp, okay,
Mm.
and the teaching reality that we face now. Your opinion, Randall, because you are, for me, I think you are an advocate. Like sometimes I, I think Randall is on their side, like because you always
Yeah.
defend them, right? But of course,
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from, because you have never
Mm.
experienced anything that maybe some of us have
Mm-hmm.
experienced. But in your personal opinion, what are the biggest challenges teachers face today?
Yeah. Well, of course, the current issue is the unreasonable. I don't know if that's really unreasonable. Yeah, but the mass termination
Mm,
or the activation of accounts,
mm,
uh, though I haven't encountered that, I really side with those who experience it. I wonder why this is happening.
mm,
So yeah, that's one. And the second one, which I also experience, though rarely, the technical glitches. Yeah, we've been with these glitches, I think, for so long now, even before I
mm,
joined Native Camp. So yeah, the little technical disturbances, the connection issues, I also experience those. Uh, of course, encounter or meeting rude students. I've encountered that as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, there are many other things. Maybe
Maybe that's
unresponsive
for
admins.
another. All right,
Yeah,
I think so.
there
But
are many.
now our admins, they are no
Mm,
longer. I think I'm not sure if there are still human admins, but now it's the
mm.
AI support.
Yes,
Mm.
that's
And
right.
just today, a lot of teachers were deducted a certain amount of their salary
Mm-hmm.
because according to Native Camp, they were overpaid.
Mm-hmm.
That's today. And
Mm-hmm.
many before our interview, many teachers have messaged me about it, but I'm not sure how can I help. So maybe
Uh-huh.
bringing it up, in this interview, maybe it could help, because some of
Mm-hmm.
them, they calculated their salary per lesson, so they know how much they
Mm-hmm.
they should get. But some were deducted 500, 900, 700.
Oh,
Yeah. So I checked mine today. I think it's from Sudden, maybe.
sudden
I'm
classes.
guessing
Mm-hmm.
because mine was only 8 pesos, 8.80 NCC. But
Oh.
because I also do Sudden sometimes, but not as often as others.
Mm-hmm.
So, but with the others, maybe it's a sudden. I hope it's a glitch, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk to you about the refresh button.
Oh yeah. Push
What do you do
button.
when you have a problem that your class won't end automatically, and you have a book class maybe after? How do you deal with it?
Yeah, well, before that is my best friend. That has been my best friend before we realized that it's one of the causes of terminations and so on. But since we knew that we became aware of that. Yeah, I just don't use it now. I wait for the system to to finish to end the class. Fortunately, so far my class would always end, even if it means it needs me waiting for
Mhm,
like a few seconds or a couple of minutes. So yeah, I just wait patiently. I just use the reconnect button, but never the refresh button
mhm.
currently. Yeah.
Right. A lot of teachers also sent me a message about it, but I cannot reply like
Mm-hmm.
to all of them. So I'd like to take this chance.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there were times that I wait for the lesson to finish, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'm also bothered. So I'm checking the time. If it's 27th minute or maybe um 17th minute. I'm so bad at numbers. So 27th or 16th minute, 17th minute, for example, that's still safe. So I still wait.
Mm.
But
Wow, that's a
if
good observation.
I wouldn't go to the 8 minute. If on the 8 minute it's still loading, then what I do, I'm not sure if this is right because we have never
Uh-huh.
received any proper
Yes.
instruction,
Yeah.
right? So if you will follow me, that's your risk. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
in my end, I'm okay
Yeah.
so far. So I
Mm-hmm.
add tab, and then
Oh.
I log in again.
Uh-huh.
So I never ended anything. So
Mm.
when I logged in again, it will bring me to the
The
page where
same.
I
Mm.
will be on standby if I
Yeah.
have I will be
A class.
on standby for the reservation, right? But and then
Mm.
that's the time. Of course, I have to end the other one because I have an
Mm.
active dashboard
Yes.
again. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe the system will not count that as an X tab because
Oh, yeah.
it's no longer active, in my opinion only.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm,
maybe, probably. Yeah, of course, we are not sure of this
mhm,
unless native camp admins tell us. But
mhm,
yeah, we just learn by experience. We just learn by observation, by experimenting. So yeah, I
mhm,
think that would be true. I think I have tried that once or twice, and yeah, that didn't cause me a problem.
mhm,
Right now, that the refresh button is an issue. But
mhm,
I think I also tried once. I just tried for experiment clicking the refresh button, it fortunately didn't cause any problem. So I don't know if it's my internet or if it's my computer. I don't know, or if I was
mhm,
just lucky. I'm not sure, or maybe it's not a big deal that time because I was just on standby for reservation. It was not during the class. But I think recently with one of my regular students with Kalan, I think I tried to click the refresh button. I just remembered it now during class. But fortunately, there was no issue. There was no problem at all.
Hmm.
So I don't know what really is
The
the
trigger.
yeah the trigger.
Right. Have you
Mm-hmm.
experienced like sometimes you're in a class and then it
Mm-hmm.
ended, or sometimes the student is still with you and the student cannot enter, but there would be
Yes.
a pop up on top, reload,
Mm-hmm.
cancel,
Yes. I
and then
experienced that.
today I received a warn. I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but I received dear teachers. And then
Mm-hmm.
it's about the refresh button again because I did
Mm-hmm.
not click the refresh, but because that pop up appeared, but I am not aware that it will appear. And then I'm
Mm-hmm.
currently typing. I do not know if I did not know if I hit the space bar or I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but it automatically reloaded the page. Oh, so I
Oh,
and then today I received something like that.
the
I'm
warning.
not sure if
Mm-hmm.
it's only for me or everybody, or it's a warning. I'm not sure. But maybe just to be safe, never hit that button again.
Yeah. Yeah, just
Mm,
to be safe, yeah, better safe. Well,
mm,
on my end, I haven't received a warning like that. I'm sure I haven't received that because every warning I receive, every notification, I try to read them for knowledge, or if
mhm,
ever I need to improve on something, or I just need to be aware of
mhm,
anything. But so far, I haven't encountered that warning about the refresh button, even if I sometimes use that, even right now, that is an issue. It's an ongoing issue. Yeah, I don't know if native camp um
loves you.
no, I hate to say that, but for a joke, yeah, I don't know,
Mhm,
maybe. Yeah, I
right.
really don't know.
But you mentioned a while ago about mass termination and mass deactivation.
Mm,
Okay. So hopefully we won't be part of that group of
yes.
teachers. But I want to ask you, Randall, what do you think or what do you wish
Mm,
Native Camp would do? Like how to
mm,
respect us.
mm,
You will receive no warning, but they will just deactivate you. They will just terminate you with no
mm,
explanation. They would
yeah.
say a lot of explanation, but a lot of teachers said, we did not do that,
Mm,
you know?
yes.
So the possible reasons are one, the refresh button, and then
Mm.
some of them mismatch, facial recognition mismatch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, deactivation and mass termination. What do you want
Mm.
to say to Native Camp about it?
Yeah, maybe transparency. I how I wish they can have a dialogue, maybe an online dialogue with teachers. They would initiate something like that. Or if not, just send us emails or reply to our inquiries and tell us the specific reasons for these deactivations and terminations, because of, yeah, we teachers deserve to know, especially those who are struggling with it. Yeah, so
Mm,
yeah, transparency. I hope they will be more active in responding to our inquiries, not just sending automated or system generated responses. I know
mhm,
that's also one of the challenges or struggles or the
mhm,
problems, issues that we are all facing. So, yeah, transparency.
mhm, mhm. Right. So, and also, I hope that we can receive an email maybe or an announcement about proper instructions.
Yes.
Because the instruction that I receive now is the reconnect button. But
Mm.
the reconnect button is not always available.
Yeah, true.
Right? So
Yes.
that's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
If native pump, I'm not sure, I'm not even sure if this is an existing channel, but I really hope that it could reach them. Maybe it would reach them because they will check what Perry's saying again. But
Yeah.
if this will reach them, that is that encouraging us to stop hitting the refresh button. Okay, we get that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want us to uh click the reconnect button, it's not always the case.
Mm-hmm. So, what will
So
be the
what
alternative
is number
or the
3 and number 4?
solution?
Exactly, right?
Yes.
We want to hear from you,
Yeah.
right? And then the deductions today, if there would be deductions, one liner, overpayment, blah blah blah, and then the amount. Maybe it's best to put the lesson ID number of those lessons instead
Yes.
of just the amount. So that,
Mm.
because this is a job, right?
Yeah.
And we work, as you said earlier, you are also supporting your family,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I hope that teachers are, we are not seen as like complain, we love to complain,
Mm-hmm.
or but money is important to us. That's why we are all here.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So I hope they would listen to us more and respect us, value us, our
Mhm.
concerns. Yeah.
One of the strength of native camp, one of the strengths is that the payment is always on time or sometimes advance,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I hope that they will, how to say, I hope that they will continue
Mm-hmm.
to keep that as a strength. But now, because
Yes.
of the deductions, I hope they can also better explain what the deduction is about,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's demotivating.
Yeah. True.
Mm.
Yeah, so yeah, that also boils down to transparency. So I hope that
Mm.
they will let us know what's really
Mm-hmm.
going on, and what
Mm-hmm.
we should do. Hmm.
Thank you. All right, Randall. Teacher Randall, I really want to say thank you, okay? But for the last part, I saved the best for last, okay?
Oh.
Since music is a big part of your life, I'd like you to please dedicate a song or maybe sing just a few lines to some people. Okay, I will say who are they, and then you sing some, maybe one or two lines. Okay, to
Okay,
your
sure.
family, what is your song for them?
Okay, well, maybe any song that expresses thanks. I have this song "Glowing Inside." Thank you for the what's the lyrics? Thank you for the joy. Wait, let me. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the glow and thank you for the joy. Thank you for the love you give to me. I'm glowing, glowing inside with your love shining through. Thank you for everything you do. I'm glowing inside because of you. Because of course we know that our families influence us greatly or significantly. So yeah, we need to really thank them for raising us up this way. Or yeah, that's for
I
my
agree.
family.
All right, how about to teachers who support and understand you? You have your supporters.
Mm. Yeah, I'm thankful for them. Maybe the same song. Or any song that would express thanks or gratitude. I can think of any particular song right now, but maybe the same song, Glowing Inside,
Mm-hmm.
for them.
Same. Okay. But
Yeah.
co-teachers who disagree with you or may have misunderstood you.
If there's a song that says, I don't care, but I know that may be rude, that's just, I'm just kidding. But any song, I can think of any particular song right now, but any song that has a message of like we have different points of view, we can agree to disagree, I don't have to please you, something like that. Yeah, I just can't
Mhm.
think of any song, but any
Any
song that
song.
has that message.
Native Camp Management. What song?
Well, maybe the same song, Glowing Inside. So still thanks to them despite all the glitches. I think in my case, the the good things outweigh the bad things in my
Mm-hmm.
experience, fortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So I still thank Native Camp for
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Right. How did Native Camp help you, Teacher Randall?
Yeah, well, it helped me get to know different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Japanese, because most of the students at Native Camp are Japanese, Taiwanese, Korean, and other nationalities. It helped me improve in how I deal with these nationalities because before Native Camp, I would not have the chance or the opportunity to get to know them or to learn the basic greetings. I mean their language, their culture, their points of view. So yeah, Native Camp introduced me to getting to
Mm.
know these nationalities, and of course, improving my communication skills with them, learning their struggles, how to creatively devise strategies to help them learn the language that the school or our school hasn't taught us. So yeah,
Mm.
there are many things. Yeah.
Tonight, honestly, I've been honest with you earlier, right? I mentioned the reason I before I interviewed you, I gave you the reason why I want to try this. We should not
Mm,
easily judge someone because of how strong or what they say or what they do, but we have to also get to know the person first.
yes,
Because right
that's right.
now I can see a son who is very loving to his mother, who is a very good brother, and basically you are like every one of us. We
Mm,
are working hard for our family, you know, and the reason why you are who you are because of how you were raised and how you were shaped.
mm,
And apparently in your home, discipline is very important,
yes,
right? And also music, right? So
yeah.
because of that, I would like to say thank you very much for gracing this interview. And I don't have any words to say, but it's just really thank you.
Yeah, thank you as well, Teacher Mary, for this opportunity. You know, it means a lot coming from you to say those things or those compliments. Yeah, though that's actually true. People may misinterpret me or misconceive me as this kind of person, but behind that, of course, I think all of us would agree that, yeah, we should not judge people easily. We have the saying, don't judge the book by its cover. We have to get to know them or see the intentions behind their words,
Mhm.
what they post. But of course, we know that I personally know as well that tone or the way we say things is also important. But
Right.
as I mentioned earlier, I'm in progress. I mean, in process of improving that. But yeah, in general, yeah, we have to really know the person first or know the
Mhm.
intentions behind his words. So yeah, I
Definitely.
thank you for this opportunity. I hope that our fellow teachers at Native Camp Worldwide Group um, would get to know me better through this opportunity. I hope that they have known me for who I really am somehow.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I hope it changed their perspective or how they see me. Yeah. So yeah,
I just want to add, okay, for with other people, it's easy to stay silent because it's
yeah.
convenient.
Mm,
And for other people who tried to maybe who tried to react, but then someone would strongly bash them or would strongly, make fun of them, most people would stop,
mm.
but you
Yeah.
did not.
Yeah, but maybe only at a certain point. It's getting too much. If I think I cannot please someone,
Mhm.
I would stop. Yeah, but
Mhm.
maybe I'm not that easy to stop as a
I
person.
think
Yeah.
so. I think so. And that is not negative,
Yeah.
because it's okay to coexist if we disagree, right?
Yeah.
But our takeaway, I think our takeaway learning from this opportunity is maybe our one is to, of course, we are a work in progress, everybody. I
Yeah.
think, you know so we are a work in progress. Number two is the tone,
Mm.
right? We always have to think about the tone. And number three, maybe, um again, let's not judge people easily,
Yeah.
especially now. The world is so chaotic. So,
Yeah.
in my opinion, we are all connected to each other.
Yeah.
Mm, right? Well, Teacher Randall, again, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you as well, Teacher Mary, for this opportunity. Yeah, this is a memorable one. Yeah. So see
Thank
you
you.
soon. See you around.
You know, when I first invited Teacher Randall, I wasn't sure what to expect. What I got tonight was someone I genuinely did not expect to meet. Behind the strong words and the firm corrections is a son working hard to support his family, a musician who grew up surrounded by discipline and passion, and a man shaped deeply by a father who stood for what was right, even when it wasn't easy. And isn't that exactly what we've been seeing in the group all along? Just maybe in a way that not all of us understood yet. I think tonight's biggest lesson for all of us is this: don't be too quick to judge. We're all a work in progress. The tone matters. Yes, and Teacher Randall himself would be the first to agree with that. But so does intention. And his intention has always been to make our community better. So, Teacher Randall, thank you for being here, for being honest, and for letting us know you. I hope everyone watching gets to see what I saw tonight. Until next time, everyone, take care of each other, and thank you for watching Teacher Mary Connects.